Raisy is joining me here in the hot seat, and I'm very excited to see what he has to say. So you're currently sitting at the top of the EU and CIS region alongside your teammate Venga, who you happen to actually be playing this week. How are you kind of feeling coming into this matchup, and what's your preparation been like for this game specifically?
I've been playing the game a lot lately, grinding it mostly ranked, but I've been also practicing against other pros every now and then. I feel comfortable, I feel like I'm in a good shape. I'm looking forward to playing against Wenger because it's always fun, it's always intense.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting as well, just because of the storylines of both yourself and your teammate Venga. Everybody sort of followed it throughout the QPL. You're both sort of young, up-and-comers who've really made your mark on the scene. Can you kind of talk through your friendship and your rivalry with Venga as a player?
With Wenger, I think I first met throughout some of the online tournaments a few years ago before he even signed to Maestro. And we happened to meet each other basically every week, multiple times throughout those tournaments. And each time it was like closer and closer between us. But eventually he started winning against me, so I had to step up my game, which was fun because he challenged me to a point where I needed to just get better and better. And then eventually I started winning again, which made him feel like, he first managed to improve himself to the point where he started beating me. But now all of a sudden I started beating him again, so he had to improve himself as well. And then this rivalry just kept each other to play our best. And we've been grinding the game a lot. We've been playing against each other, and we know each other well in real life as well. We get along really well. I tend to tease him a lot, which is funny. He doesn't really like it that much, but I think it's fine. It's just, rivalry.
Yeah, that's interesting that you kind of noted about the specific things that Venga kind of made you change as a player or sort of adapt and get better at. Are there any specifics that you can kind of talk about there that you sort of ended up focusing on which allowed you to beat him?
It is kind of hard to explain, but if you play against Wenger, you notice that he tends to do things a little bit differently to other players on this level. And I just needed to make my game be a little bit more calculated. I couldn't really take risks as much anymore against him. I had to think through every move I make, and even then it's not necessarily gonna work. Even if I think it's a good move, he just does Wenger things, as I call them, and then he wins. I just need to not let him do those things against me, and then hopefully things will work out in my favor.
Oh, that's really interesting. So obviously, just skipping ahead a little bit, after you played him, you're going to be taking on Tox in your final game of Stage 4. Is this a match that you're kind of confident going into, or perhaps are you a little bit nervous because of Tox's unpredictability?
Confident? No, I don't think I can ever be confident when I'm playing against any of the pros. But I'm looking forward to it because against Tox it's always a little bit interesting because you can't ever underestimate his aim. People know he's like a human aimbot, so you have to position yourself in a way that his aim doesn't make up for it. So I just need to be careful where I'm going, when I'm going, and I just must not let myself get caught out in the open against him. I think it's gonna be fine. I just need to be careful is all.
Yeah, and then coming into the finals, how important is it for you to be putting your name on that belt? Because we've seen you have so many second place finishes. Is there kind of a mental block that prevents you from taking gold at the finals?
Not so sure, but I have been messing up the grand finals at some of these events, yes. I'm hoping that this time it won't be like that I manage to keep my A game throughout the whole thing and not have like a brain fart at the very end when it's most needed to function properly. We'll see, I'm not sure, but I would really like to end up being a champion.
Well, fingers crossed to you, and best of luck again for your matches that come before then. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you.